You're standing still while everyone around you is moving. Your friends are getting married. You're scrolling through their engagement photos at 2 a.m., genuinely happy for them, but also wondering, when is it your turn? They're landing the job, the one you also interviewed for. Or not maybe, they didn't even have to interview. They just got the opportunity, and you've been waiting for yours for months. They're buying homes, actual houses, with down payments and mortgages and keys they can turn in their own locks. Meanwhile, you're refreshing apartment listings and wondering if rent prices will ever make sense again. They're starting families. There are baby showers happening, gender reveals, first day of school photos. And you're waiting. Maybe it's been months. Maybe it's been years. Maybe it's been so long that you've stopped telling people what you're praying for because the awkward sympathy is worse than the silence. And somewhere in that waiting, usually around 3 a.m. when you can't sleep, a question gets louder and louder. Why is God making me wait? Not just when will this happen, but why? Why are you doing this to me? Why am I stuck here while everyone else is moving? Why is your timing so different from what I prayed for? If that's you right now, this video is for you. Because I want you to know something that might sound impossible in this moment. God's delays aren't random. And they're not punishment. In fact, they're almost the opposite. Today, we're going to explore what the Bible actually says about waiting, the real reasons, not the surface-level stuff you've heard 100 times. We're going to talk about what God is actually doing while you're standing still. And by the end of this video, you'll understand that your waiting season isn't empty. It's not wasted time. It's not God ignoring you. Your waiting season is full of purpose. Let's go. The first reason God makes you wait is this: waiting reveals what you actually worship. And I need to be careful with this word worship, because you might think, I only worship God. And on a surface level, that might be true. You go to church, you pray, you believe. But let me ask you something. What do you think about most? What do you crave? What do you sacrifice for? What would devastate you if it never happened? See, here's the thing about living in a world where everything moves fast and we get what we want when we want it. We never have to examine what our heart actually wants. When everything is moving and you're getting everything you want, or at least you're moving forward, things are changing, progress is happening, you don't really know what your heart is anchored to. You can tell yourself you want God. You can believe it sincerely. But when you've never had to choose between trusting God and getting what you want, you haven't actually tested that belief. But when God makes you wait, when the thing you want stays just out of reach, that's when everything shifts. That's when your true priorities surface. It's like shaking a jar of sand and water. When the jar is still, everything looks peaceful and mixed together. But shake it hard, and gravity does its work. You see what settles to the bottom. You see what's actually heavier. You see what's real. Listen to what Psalm 27:4 says. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord, and to seek him in his temple. One thing. David didn't pray a list. He didn't say, one thing I want, a kingdom, a wife, an army, security, a good reputation, wealth, health, and by the way, could you also make sure everyone respects me? He said, one thing, seeking God's presence. That's it. That's the whole request. When you're waiting, God is essentially asking you a clarifying question. And it's not a mean question. It's a loving question. It's, do you want the blessing or do you want me? Because if you get the blessing without wanting him first, you'll be empty anyway. Think about it. The marriage without intimacy with God. It becomes about whether your spouse completes you. And they can't. No human can. So you're always disappointed. The job without purpose connected to God. It becomes about money, status, achievement. And there's always another level, always another goal. You never arrive at satisfaction. The money without God as your security. It becomes about fear. About losing it. About needing more. You're enslaved to the very thing that was supposed to free you. The dream, the achievement, the milestone without God as the foundation. You get it and realize it doesn't feel the way you thought it would. That's what Jesus meant when he said something like, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul?" Mark 8:36. You can get everything you want and still feel empty. Still feel lost. Still feel like something's missing. The waiting season is God's way of asking, is your happiness dependent on what I give you or who I am? That's the difference between surface faith and deep faith. Surface faith says, God, give me what I want. If you do, I'll believe. If you don't, I'm disappointed. Deep faith says, God, I want you with or without what I'm praying for. I want to know you. I want to trust you. And if that means waiting for the other stuff, I can do that. And here's the thing, God is honoring your waiting by asking this question. Because he knows that shallow faith can't sustain you through life. But deep faith, that can carry you through anything. The person who's learned to trust God himself, not just God's benefits, that person is unshakable. The second reason God makes you wait is this: waiting builds the character you'll need for what's coming. This is where most of us get frustrated. We think, I'm ready now. I've been ready for a while. Why should I wait? But here's what I've learned: God usually sees something we don't. He sees who you would become if you received the blessing before you're ready internally. And he loves you too much to let that happen. Romans 5:3-4 says, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Suffering produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, character produces hope. There's a sequence there. You can't jump to hope without going through the other stuff first. Think about it practically. If God gave you the marriage before you learned faithfulness, you'd take your spouse for granted. You'd be unfaithful because you never had to learn that discipline it takes to stay committed to something hard. If God gave you the business before you learned humility, you'd think you did it alone. You'd treat your employees badly. You'd make arrogant decisions that would collapse the business. If God gave you the platform before you learned service, you'd use it to build yourself. You'd be in it for the attention, and you'd hurt people along the way. If God gave you the influence before you learned wisdom, you'd say things that damage people. You'd use your platform to manipulate instead of help. We've all seen this happen in real life. Someone gets sudden success and implodes. They get a platform and use it to hurt people. They get wealth and become arrogant. They get fame and destroy their family. Why does this happen? Because they weren't ready internally for what they received externally. The external blessing exposed the internal poverty. That's not God being mean. That's God protecting you. The waiting isn't punishment. It's preparation. God is building in you right now the patience you will need to weather setbacks. When you finally get the job or the relationship or the opportunity, there will be hard moments. There will be people who disappoint you. There will be seasons that feel like failure. If you haven't learned patience in the waiting, you'll give up when the blessing gets hard. The humility you'll need to stay grounded. If you get what you want and you're still arrogant, you'll lose it. You'll isolate yourself. You'll push away the people who care about you because your ego is more important than your relationships. The wisdom you'll need to steward the blessing well. You can have money and be broke in 6 months because you don't know how to manage it. You can have a platform and lose it because you say something stupid. You can have a relationship and destroy it through neediness. Wisdom lets you keep what you get. The faith you'll need when challenges come. And challenges will come. Not every part of your blessing is going to be easy. Not every day is going to feel like a win. If you don't have deep faith built in the waiting season, the first storm will shake you. Every day you wait without bitterness. That's a day you're becoming someone worthy of the blessing. Every night you go to bed disappointed but still believing. That's a day your character is being refined. That's a day the rough edges are being smooth. That's a day you're becoming who God knows you can be. You're not just waiting for the thing. You're becoming the person who deserves it and can handle it. The third reason God makes you wait is this: waiting deepens your faith in ways nothing else can. Here's something true: faith isn't real until it's tested. You can say, "I trust God," when everything is going your way. It costs you nothing. It feels great. You post about it on social media. Everyone likes your post. But do you trust him when he says no? When he says wait? When he says not yet? When he says, "I have something better," but you're not ready? That's the test. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is defined as the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen." Let me break that down. Faith is being sure about things you're hoping for but can't see yet. Waiting is the gymnasium where faith gets strong. Think of it like a muscle. You don't build a muscle by resting. You build it by resistance, by pushing against something hard, by doing reps that are uncomfortable. Similarly, you don't build faith by getting everything you pray for immediately. That's not faith, that's just getting what you want. Faith is believing without seeing, trusting without knowing, standing firm without certainty. Every morning you wake up without the thing you're praying for, but you choose to believe God is good anyway. That's faith being built. That's one rep. Every night you go to bed without the answer, but you choose to trust his timing instead of spiraling into panic and making desperate choices. That's another rep. Your faith is getting stronger. Every time someone else gets what you've been praying for, but you celebrate them instead of becoming bitter and resentful. That's faith. That's the heaviest rep because it's the hardest to do. Every time you pray but don't see results, but you pray again anyway. That's faith. Every time you read about God's faithfulness in Scripture but don't feel it in your situation, but you believe it anyway. That's faith. And that faith, it changes you at a level nothing else can. It's not just that you eventually get the blessing. It's that you'll get the blessing and you'll be unshakable because you've already learned the deepest lesson: God is enough, with or without it. This is the breakthrough moment. This is what separates the people who thrive through life's challenges from the people who fall apart. If your happiness, your security, your sense of worth is all tied up in getting the thing you're waiting for, then when you don't get it, or when you get it, and it's not what you expected, you fall apart. But if you've learned in the waiting that God is enough, that his presence is better than his presence, that knowing him is the real blessing, then you can handle anything. You can lose the job and still be okay. You can face rejection and still know your worth. You can be single and still be whole. You can fail and still believe in yourself because you know God believes in you. That's the faith that gets built in the waiting. Now, I want to give you something practical, because knowing why you're waiting is helpful. But understanding what God is doing during your wait, that can change your entire perspective. The problem is, you can't see it. So, it feels like nothing is happening. But let me tell you what's actually happening in the spiritual realm while you're standing still. He's pruning you. John 15:2 says God prunes the branches that bear fruit so they'll bear even more fruit. He's removing distractions, bad habits, unhealthy relationships, limiting beliefs, toxic patterns. It feels like loss. It feels painful. But it's actually preparation for growth. Maybe he's removing a friendship that was holding you back. Maybe he's breaking a pattern of behavior that was limiting you. Maybe he's showing you something about yourself that you need to change before you move forward. The pruning feels like subtraction, but it's actually multiplication. He's positioning you. While it feels like you're standing still, God is moving pieces around on the board that you can't see. He's setting up meetings you haven't had yet. He's creating opportunities you haven't heard about yet. He's aligning circumstances in ways you won't understand until later. You know how sometimes you meet someone and later realize that meeting changed everything. That wasn't a coincidence. That was God positioning you. Right now, while you're waiting, God is moving. You just can't see it yet. He's deepening you spiritually. Every day you seek God instead of seeking the thing you want, you're building a relationship that will outlast any circumstance. You're learning to hear His voice. You're learning to trust His heart. You're learning to rest in His presence. This is the spiritual equivalent of Him building muscle while you're waiting. You're not just killing time. You're growing. He's protecting you. Sometimes what you're waiting for would hurt you if you got it right now. Maybe the timing isn't right, and if you got it now, it would fail spectacularly. Maybe you'd get it for the wrong reasons, out of desperation, out of fear, out of neediness, and it would corrupt the blessing. Maybe it would come with consequences you can't see, but God can. Maybe someone else isn't ready yet, and if you got this thing, it would hurt them. God's delay is often God's protection. Proverbs 10:22 says, "The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, without painful toil for it." Sometimes the wait is God protecting you from painful toil, from having to manipulate your way into something, from having to compromise who you are to get what you want, from having to force something that should come naturally. God is protecting you by making you wait. So, how do you actually do this? How do you wait without losing your mind? How do you trust when you can't see the next step? Here are 3 practices that will help. First, celebrate small signs of progress. You might not get the big answer yet, but are there small signs that God is working? A door that opened unexpectedly. A person who entered your life at just the right time. A shifted perspective. A moment of peace. A small win. Celebrate those. Write them down. Tell someone about them. Because they remind you God isn't asleep. They remind you that He's still moving even when you can't see the big picture. The small signs are breadcrumbs. They're showing you that God is leading you somewhere. Second, redirect your energy toward what you can control. You can't force the outcome. You can't manipulate God. You can't make the timeline go faster by being anxious. But you can control your choices. Use your wait time to level up. Study something new. Heal from old wounds. Work on yourself. Serve other people. Build skills. Strengthen relationships. Learn. Grow. Improve. When the opportunity finally comes, you'll be ready. Not just mentally, but spiritually and emotionally ready too. Third, build your faith daily. Don't just pray about what you're waiting for. That becomes obsessive. That becomes all-consuming. Instead, spend time with God for God's sake. Read Scripture. Not to get a word or a sign about your situation, but just to know Him better. Worship. Listen to music that reminds you of God's character. Pray. Journal. Pray for other people. The deeper your relationship with God becomes, the less desperate you'll be for the specific thing you're waiting for. And paradoxically, that's when you become truly ready to receive it. When you're not desperate for the thing, you can receive it as a gift instead of as a rescue. So, here's what I want you to hear in this moment. Your wait isn't wasted. I don't care how long it's been. I don't care how many birthdays have passed. I don't care how many of your friends got what you're waiting for. Your wait isn't wasted. It's not forgotten. God isn't distracted. He didn't lose your prayer in the shuffle of millions of other prayers. He sees you. He remembers you. It's not punishment. You didn't do something wrong. You're not being punished because you messed up. God doesn't work like that. His delays are not His denials. His not yet is not His no. And it's not God being cruel or forgetful. God is being wise. God is doing three foundational things right now. He's showing you what you truly worship. He's helping you discover that you want Him more than you want the thing. That's the most important discovery you can make. He's building the character you'll need. He's making you into someone who can handle what's coming. Someone strong. Someone wise. Someone ready. He's deepening your faith. He's building in you a faith so deep that nothing can shake it. A faith that can survive disappointment, loss, and uncertainty. And underneath all that, He's pruning, positioning, deepening, and protecting you. When the time comes, and it will come, you won't just get the blessing. You'll get it as someone who knows God's enough. Someone with stronger character. Someone whose faith is unshakable. Someone who can steward it well and won't be destroyed by it. That's worth the wait. More than that, you'll realize the wait itself was the blessing. The wait was where you met God. The wait was where you grew. The wait was where you became who you needed to be. If you're in a waiting season right now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Tell this community what you're waiting on God for. What's the thing that keeps you up at night? What are you praying about? Let this community know you're not alone in this. Because you're not. Thousands of people are waiting right now. Thousands of people are standing still while the world moves. And thousands of people are learning to trust God in the waiting. You're part of something bigger than you know. And if this video helps you feel less alone, less forgotten, and more hopeful, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're reminded every week that God's timing is always worth trusting. Your wait has purpose. God hasn't forgotten you. God is working. And you will get through this. Peace.